Hey, what's going on guys? It's Syrian here, and I'm bringing you part 2 of where Black Ops 4 went wrong. If you haven't seen part 1 already, I will put a link in the description below. Make sure you check it out before you watch this video, because otherwise this video won't really make that much sense. And I just wanted to say a couple of quick things. I did all the recording just about for the points I was making in one session before I put out the first video, obviously, and a couple of things have changed since then that get referred to in this video. Most of them don't matter, but the thing I wanted to just quickly mention is that when I recorded, I didn't have the Switchblade, and I say that in this video, but as you guys who watch my stuff will know, I got the Switchblade recently, so that's why I say I don't have the Switchblade in this video when I currently do. Alright, I'll stop talking now and let myself take over. Take it away, me. Moving on to the big ones, and this actually ties into the TTK as well. Specialists. Now, specialists were introduced in Black Ops 3, and I absolutely despised them right from the beginning. I remember arguing with a lot of people at the time who insisted that specialists weren't just free kills for bad players, and they weren't free because you had to earn them. And I remember arguing with people and saying you don't have to earn them, you will guaranteed get specialists over the course of a game if you do nothing. You can literally sit in the back of the map and do nothing. How is it that specialists are okay when people hated death streaks and support streaks so much in games like Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2? And unfortunately, I think there wasn't enough of a kickback against that specialist philosophy in Black Ops 3 and in that era, because then Infinite Warfare had them. World War 2 thankfully did away with them, but then they brought them back in Black Ops 4, and I think a lot of the people now are wising up to how annoying and awful specialists are in their current design. And I think part of the reason for that is they've grown jaded as far as specialists go. The novelty has worn off to a degree, and so they see the annoyance in them more than they see the fun in them. But also, I think it has to do with the TTK in Black Ops 4. In Black Ops 3, if someone had a scythe or a purifier or whatever, you could, if you gathered them down with a good gun, you could shut them down pretty easily, right? I'm not saying that they weren't overpowered in Black Ops 3, they absolutely were. But in Black Ops 4, they are so much more difficult to shut down. At least on PC, the best way to shut down a specialist is to either let them run past you, hope they don't see you, and then shoot them in the back, or get close to them and shot punch them. Because specialists in Black Ops 4, the lethals in general, pretty much just kill in one hit. If you get hit by a specialist, whether it's a Tempest, whether it's an Outrider, whether it's, a Purifier, or, Scythe that just came out, they're pretty much insta-kills, and even with the top-tier weapons in the game, you're not outgunning someone if they have a specialist trained on you, and you have your reg gun trained on them. It's just not happening. Now, specialists aren't inherently terrible game design. They're actually a lot of fun to use. The problem with them is not how strong they are, it's that they're given out for free. Now, people like to say that, well, if they made them not given out for free, if you had to actually earn them the same way you do a kill streak, then, Nubbins McGee wouldn't get to use it and wouldn't play the game. And to that I say, bullshit. I don't have any other response to that but bullshit. If we take a look at kill streaks, their obvious counterpart, kill streaks are things that you have to earn, and that's why they're fine if they're balanced right. So a good player can earn streaks X, Y, Z on the regular, but Timmy No Thumbs can't. That's not a problem, because the one time that Timmy No Thumbs earns his AC 130, he's gonna fucking remember that experience. Specialists are a little different because, you know, they require a bit more execution than, say, an AC-130. But that's where the balancing comes in. You balance them right. They don't have to be as difficult to earn as an AC-130. They just have to be earned in the first place, you know? So, obviously, if they were to take that philosophy, they would need to do a complete rebalance of all the specialists, and then they'd need to put a lot of thought and effort into which specialists should cost how much and how strong they should be and things like that, whether they should be in care packages, that sort of thing. So it would be some work, but I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility that specialists could exist in Call of Duty and actually be fun, rewarding, and not annoying. Obviously, they'd still be annoying to die to in the same way that dying to an AC-130 is annoying to die to, but at least you would know that someone had to actually do something to get their war machine that they buzz-killed you one off your nuke on, you know? It wouldn't have that same feeling of just, well, here we go again, dying to, you know, when you die to a specialist in Black Ops 4 and in Black Ops 3, a lot of the time, you know damn well you died to someone who was terrible. And it's not the fact that they're terrible at the game that feels so bad to die to them. You know, you can die to terrible players all the time in Call of Duty if you're just 1 health and they shoot you in the back or whatever. It's the fact that it's such a powerful weapon, and it plays into the rest of the game so much. You get full points for killing people with your specialist. And that's another thing that I wanted to cover here. Specialists should not award points. If they're going to award points at all, it needs to be in the realm of kill streaks, where it's, you know, 10 or 25 points a kill, not 125. And I have never understood why they give more points than a regular kill for using a specialist, because they are easier to get kills with than guns, which means that they should give less, not more. That's always how kill streak kills have worked, well, in the CODs that have not had insanely broken kill streaks. So the fact that they give so many points is a big part of their problem as well. And the points in general in Black Ops 4 are done worse than score streak points have ever been done. What I'm mainly talking about is the way you're awarded full points for just tagging an enemy. So, if you shoot someone in the toe through a building with a non-FMJ VKM, and you do 1 damage to them, and then someone else kills them, you haven't even seen the guy, let's just say you're randomly spraying at a wall. Someone else kills them, and you'll get at least 100 points in Black Ops 4 for that. If you shoot someone once and do 1 damage out of 150, you get 100 points. I don't think I should have to go into too much detail as to why that's incredibly stupid, but it's a big part of what makes the game very frustrating. It's a big part of the snowballing that happens worse than any COD in games where the team that's on top tends to get more and more and more streaks, and it's a big part of why it's next to impossible to carry against parties especially, or against just teams that are stacked more than your team is. Because for the most part, in a lot of gunfights, especially in Black Ops 4, you're going to be shot at by more than one person. And when that happens, it used to be that there was a finite amount of points that would come out of that. So, in Black Ops 4, you get shot at by 4 people, you've just given 400 points to the enemy team if they all tag you, even if they all just hit you once. Even if only one of them is actually getting the final blow, than actually getting the kill, but they all get 100 points, at least. Add that up over the course of the game, and the team that's on top is suddenly getting so many more points when they were already killing more often. I don't see how they can have possibly thought that through, and I honestly can't make any sort of excuse for this decision on Treyarch's part, because it doesn't make any sense on any level, and there's no way it should have gotten past testing. Cue all the jokes about how they don't test anything. But in all seriousness, to the best that I could guess, it's a legacy left over from when the game was still in development and they had this bizarre idea where they were going to make it a weird mishmash of like Overwatch and Rainbow Six and Call of Duty, and their playtesters hated it and told them not to, and they wisely decided to change it up and make it, more like an actual COD game. But apparently they didn't reverse this decision, and I do not understand why, and I never will. It's horrible design. It needs to go. I really hope it's not in the next COD, and it's a big part of why people don't like Black Ops 4. Combine that with the specialists, which have now become pretty universally unpopular amongst the community, and you've got some pretty big sources of frustration. I don't think I need to elaborate much more, but let's just say, how many times have you seen some complete bot spamming away with his war machine, getting a 5-man, and then getting a sniper nest or something out of it, and then you die a whole bunch to the sniper nest as well as to the war machine? He's done pretty much nothing to earn any of that, and he's gotten like 20 kills out of it. Says all that need be said, I believe. So, finally, we come to the last one, and I think, if for the people who are still watching, I think they'll have been wanting to see this one ever since the beginning. I left it till last because I do feel like it is the single biggest thing that alienated people from this game, and that is microtransactions. Now, if you're an indie company and you release a free-to-play game and you want to make your money back, you pretty much have to do microtransactions, and it's a very popular model for indie and free-to-play games especially, because it allows them to get their game out there with no branding while also still making their money, getting paid for the work that they've done, and not having all this money just go down the drain and get nothing in return. It's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly acceptable business model in the right circumstances. Black Ops 4, as a AAA $60 game, financed by Activision and developed by Treyarch, with a $50 season pass and a battle pass and bi-monthly or whatever operations that you can buy, these, season, like 30-day, like battle pass tier things for, and a microtransaction shop, and cosmetics and loot boxes galore, and having weapons that would otherwise be in the Season Pass DLC. It's just disgusting beyond words. There's no defending it. You can't defend that sort of behavior, and as big a fan of Call of Duty as I am, it's just pathetic. It's downright pathetic, it's galling, and it's genuinely insulting to see just such endless greed. And I don't know how much of the blame to place on Treyarch. I don't know how much of the blame to place on Activision. We have seen the microtransactions get more and more predatory pretty much across the board with these scumbag publishers. I can't imagine that Treyarch wanted, or Infinity Ward wanted, or Sledgehammer wanted to put microtransactions in their games, because I don't really think they see any of that money. I don't think that I think if you buy a loot box in Black Ops 4, I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure if you buy a loot box in Black Ops 4, none of the people at Treyarch get extra money for it. The people who get extra money will work at Activision and are their investors. So I can't imagine Treyarch or any of these companies wanted to put microtransactions in their game, but I also have to acknowledge the fact that the microtransactions in Treyarch's CODs, that is Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, have been the most predatory and the most scummy. When we compare them to, say, Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, World War II even, the levels of nickel and diming that go on are much worse in Black Ops 4 than they have ever been, but even in Black Ops 3, they were worse. So, in Black Ops 3, the only way you could get the DLC guns was to just get them in a loot box. So basically, if you wanted the DLC guns, you had to sink a whole bunch of money into it. Compare that to World War II, where whenever they would release a new gun, you'd have some way to earn it in-game without spending $1. And the same, I believe, happened with Infinite Warfare, where eventually you would just get enough currency in-game through playing the game in a sort of reasonable time frame to buy whatever gun you want. There's no option for that in Black Ops 4, and I believe there was no option for it in Black Ops 3. At time of this video, I'm Prestige Master level 1000, I've played the game for God knows how many hours, and I haven't spent any money on the microtransactions, and I still don't have even half of the DLC weapons that have been released, I think. I think I'm still missing just over half of them, including the Switchblade, which is the one I've most wanted. That, in and of itself, should say enough. The fact that someone who... I literally play the game for a living, and I don't have the DLC weapons. How is someone who just plays the game normally supposed to get any of these without getting absurdly lucky or without dropping a bunch of money on it? They're just not going to. And that's the big problem. We can talk about how it's reprehensible for them to have so much microtransaction crap in their games when they charge full price for their games, and it is. And I think probably the most telling thing is that they have more aggressive microtransactions in their full-price $60 game that has a $50 DLC than a free-to-play game like Fortnite. It just puts a bad taste in your mouth, and I'm very much not the only person who feels this way. Pretty much the whole community has expressed its distaste at how they've handled the microtransactions in this game. They're worse than they've ever been before, even in Call of Duty, and the community is, well, let's just say Treyarch has, whether it's 100% on them or not, they've managed to kill all the goodwill that they had with the community for the last however many years. Treyarch has been the COD community's go-to when they want, they want a developer to deliver. And so they have been seen as this sort of, well, Infinity Ward are shitting the bed and not making anything good. Sledgehammer suck. Sort of, at least we've still got Treyarch. And all that goodwill has to count for something. And they and Activision have taken it and just thrown it out the window. They've just gotten rid of it. It's gone. There's now, I think it'd be right to say, people probably don't really care for Treyarch much, if any, more than the other two COD devs. And that's a real shame, because Treyarch had spent many, many years building up this goodwill by consistently releasing good games. And games that were well received amongst the wider audience of Call of Duty, even while their contemporaries stuttered and released unpopular ones. Treyarch was the one developer that the community always liked, and now they're not. and we've seen this with Bethesda in recent times. We've seen how easily a developer can turn a community against them, and I think in years to come, Activision will probably look back on these ridiculous, aggressive microtransaction policies in their flagship series as a huge mistake. But unfortunately, at the moment, Activision is too big to fail. They're too diversified, and everyone buys their games anyway because, well, we love Call of Duty. And we love other games that they publish. This part of the video is a little more personal, I guess, from my own perspective, but it's hard to see how it is that the gaming industry is going to get over this microtransaction shit. Because while I understand that, in certain cases microtransactions do have to exist, we have to remember that games are still $60, even though 20 years ago they were $60, and years before that they were $60. They haven't... The price of games has not risen with the price of inflation, which is something that not a lot of people take into account. Meanwhile, the price of game development has increased exponentially for games like Call of Duty. At the same time, there's no denying that, Call of Duty would make lots of money even if they had no microtransactions whatsoever. So, the fact that they do have them, and they keep putting them in the game to the ire of the fans, is... well, it's hard to see a way out of it, because we'll always buy it, and a lot of people will always buy it, and a lot of people will always buy loot boxes, and a lot of people will always buy microtransactions because they genuinely can't help themselves. At this stage, I just don't see a way that loot boxes and microtransactions are going anywhere, as much as we might hear the phrase vote with your wallet all the time. Not enough people do. And for games that you like, it's perfectly understandable. I'm not going to not buy a game that I love and enjoy playing and play for hundreds and thousands of hours just because it's got disgusting predatory microtransactions in it, because I don't buy the microtransactions. But some people do, and it's enough people that they keep putting them in the game to the detriment of the game and to the ire of the fans. And I know I'm just kind of rambling here, but it's just kind of a... I don't know. It's one of the few things with the other problems with Black Ops 4, I have a very clear idea in my mind of how I would fix them. But with microtransactions, I got nothing. It's not like Treyarch can say to Activision, no, we're not going to do it. Go away. They can't. Right? And Activision's not going to stop. So, what do you do? I don't know. Anyway. I didn't want to end the video on such a somber note, guys, so... yeah, I just want to remind everyone that, these are just video games at the end of the day. I still enjoy Black Ops 4 a lot. I'm hoping the next Call of Duty will be good, and obviously I'm still going to be playing it, microtransactions and all. But I guess, in so much as the microtransactions go, just do your utmost to not buy them. Do your utmost to get your friends to not buy them. Do your utmost to get anyone you know to not buy them. And make sure that you voice your displeasure at the idea at every opportunity. And that's just about all we can do as end consumers, unfortunately. But, yeah, that's, I think, a very, very, very long video that I've just made, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it up there, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you think the end of this video was too somber, or the whole video in general was a bit too much of a Debbie Downer, I will be doing a counterpart video where I talk about the things that I really like about Black Ops 4 and all the stuff that I think it does amazingly well, and there is a great deal of that, so I am looking forward to making that video. Hope you're looking forward to watching it. Till next time, peace out, and I will see you all in the next one. There's a dude in the corner with a fucking torque barricade. Oh, you got him. He's got a MOG after that. Really need a class with stingers since teammates will never shoot shit.
Yep.
Wow, they blew that up quickly. That is so obnoxious, the fucking mantle hitboxes, dude. Wonder if you can blow up the, what do you call it? What do you call that thing? The fucking microwave. Oh, that's what he was behind.
Target removed. Profit neutralized.
Feel free to do anything, Mantis, if you feel like it.
It's stuck. You need to fucking manual control it. Guy's flanking. That guy's so bad. Couldn't handle the cracked movement, chat. Behind us. Oh, teammate got him. Alright, there's 1 out of 5. Oh, teammate's got the, what do you call it out? Also, yeah, that mantis was like fucking pancaking itself. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. Oh my god, die.
You're so trash. The fuck down.
Vendetta, by the way. I was looking at that guy right through the wall. I hope he fucking calls cheats on that. This guy's got a sniper. Oh no. No, 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 no. My UAV. Oh, it puts away your streak too? Oh, that's dog shit. Like it puts away your specialist there? Damn, that sucks. Guy's like 1 health. What the fuck? Oh, there's a microwave there. Fuck seeing that.
User joined your channel.
Welcome back, human.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Ran
so...
the clock to 500 megahertz.
Really frustrated right now.
Yeah, I can imagine. Don't worry. Hello? Bullets? So yeah, when your game crashes, just the game, nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else. perfectly fine. If I alt tab, I can load Discord and Steam and other shit. It's just the game. It's not like a
Weird.
hard crash, like the whole computer. It's just the game.
Super weird.
Yeah, don't know, man. I was playing this 2 days ago. Like,
Yeah, well, there was an update today, so that's got to be it. I assume you verified, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
Is your GPU OC'd?
No, I turned that off before I started playing today.
Okay. Impossible that I'd know he was there, dude.
Literally impossible.